Patriot 6 here. I'm going to go and say the pledge and then do the music, and then we will get into the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All the things were gone. I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston and New York
When I
to
said that thing out last night, that
LA,
someone
where there's
was
pride in
with 20
every
people.
American heart, and
I
it's
said that
time we stand and
let it
say,
go through everybody except Stephanie Shaw.
oh, and I'm proud to
But
be
then I
an
go to the single
American,
company this morning,
where at
that's the
least
same
I
time, but
know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who
She
died,
uses them
who
that
gave
much
that
her
right to
money to
me.
make.
And I'd rather stand up next to
well, she was
you
on
and defend
today,
her
so I
still
clicked on that. That's how
today.
I was able to
'Cause
say
there
that.
ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Yes, God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, and I wanted to let everybody know that this video is not made for children. They can watch it under the discretioncy of their grandparents, their parents, or their legal guardians. That's how they have to watch it. They have to have permission. Plus, the music played in this video today is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. It is just for entertainment purposes only. I have some things I want to talk about. I hope I can get all my ducks in a water. I do want to thank everybody for coming on the Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 show today. I know you guys had a lot of fun with that. So we'll see what we can do. That's my cat messing with my dog. Something I do want to talk about is there's a lot of people going and saying now, you know, we were told to look for our information, our phone numbers, sometime late last night into early morning today, possibly be there by the time we got up this morning. Well, I think I got up about 6 times and I checked probably 10. I really thought last night was going to be, or early this morning was going to be the night. because there's so many people, and I'm going to get into that. But we didn't get it. But we have a lot to talk about, a lot of good things. If people are willing to listen, and, I want to talk about some of the people out here doing what we're doing, that since they like to talk about people, I'm not going to really come out and cut them down. I'm just going to give my opinions of what they're saying. But I do want to talk to Jimmy because I read a tremendous article yesterday. It come from the Hat himself, and he says the beds are real and they're coming very, very soon. So Jimmy, that's for you. Patriot 11. I hope you're riding your horsey by now. I hope you're with your friends that are not your school friends, but your summer friends. I don't know if you're with Grandma yet. I don't know if she's came back from Arizona yet. I haven't heard, but, I always think about you and the things we have planned, and we're going to make them dreams come true. Patriot Boogaloo and Boogaroo. I seen where Grandpa John put some pictures of you guys up on one of our sites the other day. Man, you're growing. Slow down. As the song says, slow down. You move too fast. Let's make this little kid's life last, We want you little for a while. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. Have not heard anything from you guys since you wished me a happy birthday. But that's okay because that made my day. Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter, her brother. Our queen is also a ball player, and from what I understand, very, very good. And I've been watching my share of baseball games, and yesterday was football. And, I'm going to get into the football here in a minute because it's the same old song and dance. Patriot Little Leona and Patriot Little Leilana, named after my mom and my aunt, and couldn't love you more. You have a tremendous great-grandparents, grandparents, and the whole works. Patriot Super Gymnast. The 28th to the 30th is when, on Channel 5, is when they're going to be doing the trials for the U.S. women's gymnastics. Well, men's too, but I know you're more interested in the women's, along with Patriot Little Monkey. So I will keep reminding you so you guys can watch them. And, hopefully they'll put on a show. I know the one girl will. My goodness gracious, the height that she gets on some of these things. The things that she does, truthfully, when you look at her and her sport, and you look at Michael Jordan and his sport, they're comparative. Because I don't think there'll ever be a guy like Michael Jordan in basketball again. Because Michael Jordan didn't play for the money. He signed a contract. He could have had that contract torn up at any time and made a lot more. But no, he waited till the contract went out. And then people say, and then, look what he did to him then. He still didn't make as much as a guy that doesn't even want to play for the Bulls right now makes. He's always injured. He got the big contract. Now he's always injured. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed in sports how when someone gets the big contract, they're always injured? You take Caitlin Clark. Now, she's not injured. And I'm not a big Caitlin Clark fan because of all the notoriety she got, because she's the number one scorer in NCAA history. Yeah, because she got to shoot three-pointers from where, not much farther than the foul line for a woman. And I'm not cutting the women's game down, guys. I refereed it for 20 years, girls and women's basketball. So I'm not cutting it down. But they did a research on Pete Maravich, and he didn't get 4 years to play. He got 3, and she barely beat his record in 4. He didn't have a three-point line, so they went and watched every game, every film of his games And they said he would have averaged 55 points a game in his 3 years in college if they'd had 3-pointers. But would he average more? Because he might have took more 3-pointers. Because that's the thing right now. And what I'm trying to say is they're just changing things so much. But, going back to the kids, I'm saying Dominique Dawes is saying this nicely. She's a freak to her sport. I don't know, and I mean, I know these beds and what they can do and how long they can keep us here, but I don't know if they'll ever be anybody. Now, maybe with the beds, they'll make them even better. I don't know. I don't know if I want to see anybody better. I don't know if I ever want to see anybody better than Michael Jordan, because everybody likes to have heroes. And when your heroes are shut down, and I've been watching a lot about heroes, and I'm going to get into that a little bit too. Patriot 7. You are looking at one proud papa. Here's a young man that through circumstances on his baseball team, and it has to deal with the coach and the coach's inability to let bygones be bygones, and something happened with the coach and a teacher at the school. And so this coach holds it against my 8-year-old grandson. He's probably, if not the best, the second, or at the worst, third best player on the team. Each team gets to send 5 representatives to the All-Star game. He didn't make it. Can you believe it? Now, this is pitching with the machine. He started off very slow, very bad. He was listening to everybody, and everybody had an opinion about what he was doing. And one day I got his attention and I said, "Hey, what if we practice?" He goes, "I know." I said, "Then do it." And he hasn't quit hitting since. Since that game, which was about 8 games old, he's hitting around 800. He's one of the best fielders in the league. He at least knows what to do. But he didn't make the All-Star team because the coach has a situation. And I'm not going to go no further. That's all that needs to be said. He's not good enough to make the All-Star team on a machine pitch. But yet, Saturday, the coach in the league up, though he'll be playing next year. Can't wait to get him on the team next year. Asked 2 of the kids from Patriot 7's team, him and another kid, if they could come up and play with him because they were going to be short a couple of players. Oh, they said yes. I've never, ever been nervous in a sports event if it had to deal with me, my kids, or my grandkids. I literally was making myself sick in my stomach, worried about him because I wanted him to have such success. The first time he struck out on a 3-2 pitch, it was, believe me, as I said, I was an umpire for 25 years. I know the strike zone. The pitch, and I'm not saying this because he's my grandson. The coaches even said it, but it is what it is. The umpires told me, we were told in this league, since they're not that great of pitchers, to give a huge strike zone. I said, "Did you sign a contract with this league to umpire?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Then you have your IHSA patch on your sleeve." "Yes, I do." "Then that means you're bound to ISHA to call the game the right way. You call that same pitch a strike for everybody, but you didn't. You only called it against our players." He goes, "Well, how do you know all that?" I says, "I was an umpire longer than you are old." So anyway, that being said, he struck out, but the kids acknowledged him. The other kid they brought up, first time up, got a base hit, drove a run in, and then scored. We only scored 4 runs. We got beat 14-4. How we did that, I don't know, but I don't ask no questions when it's like that. That being said, his next time up, he hit the hardest ball I've ever seen him hit. Luckily, one of the fielders got a glove on it. Otherwise, it went all the way to the fence and been a home run. He ended up getting his base hit, stole second, and scored. But on his hit, he also drove in a run, and he scored a run. So the 2 young kids from the T-ball league is the only reason that team scored any runs that day. They was responsible. Each of them drove a run in, and each of them scored a run. And so that made me proud. And I'm telling you, as soon as he got that base hit, my stomach cleared up, and I was just as calm as could be. Now, I go back to a story that, things that I did that I was never nervous when I played because I knew I could do what I needed to do. But my daughter in the 8th grade, the very first game of the season, they lost to a team by 45 points. Now, you would think losing to a team by 45 points, so what? They're a lot better than them. No, they wasn't. I knew that our team was better than them, and you're going to think you're nuts. The coach was so devastated, because the coach thought she had a team that she was going to take to state. They were going to go to state because this team of 7th graders went to state and did very well. So she thinks, I'm finally going to get to be a state coach. And that's what a coach lives for, is to go to state. And then they get beat by 45 points. And they got to get through this team in order to go back to state. The coach was crying on the sideline. I went down the middle of the floor, and the girls are dumbfounded. What happened? I said, you didn't play ball. You didn't play team ball. You did not do what you're capable of doing. But you got the whole season. And then you'll get them in the regionals, and you'll beat them, and you'll go to state. Now, I tell this story, guys, because it's a kid's story. And we was up by 2 points. Because at halftime, their one player, girl by the name of Casey Hadley, tremendous 8th grade basketball player, went on to play high school, went on to play college. She was a tremendous player. Unfortunately, she got injured. It might have cost her a shot at going women's professional. She did everything. So at halftime, I looked at the girls down on the court, and I said, hey, come here. They said, what do you need? I said, has your coach told you what to do? And they said, no, what? I said, in the second half, whenever Casey Hadley touches the ball, run 2 and 3 girls at her. Don't let her dribble the ball. Don't let her go to the basket. Run 2 or 3. Make her pass the ball. And they did, and for the whole third quarter, they held her close. They held her scoreless. The only time in her career she's ever been held scoreless in a quarter. The fourth quarter, they kept doing the same thing. She made a couple adjustments, which great players do. She got a few points. But with 10 seconds to go, our team was up by 2 points. We shoot, we miss. They had 3 girls there to get the rebound. I have no idea how she did it. Somehow my daughter reached up, got the rebound, come back, and went up to shoot, which she should have just pulled it out, made them foul, and you get the foul shots. But they fouled her when she went to shoot. So there's 10 seconds to go. She's at the foul line. My ex-wife is up there. Parents, men and women, are up there, and they're sitting there like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm sitting there just as cool as a cucumber. And they go, what's wrong with you? This is your daughter. This is to go to state. If she hits them both, we can't lose. I said, she's going to swish both of them. No, you don't know. Yeah, I do. Because look at her. You think I'm calm? There's not one nervousness in her. She has no clue. My daughter played basketball because she loved being around her friends. She ended up pretty good, but she played because she loved being around her friends. She had no clue that if she made both of them, they won, and they was going to state. First one goes up, nothing but net. I looked over at the parents, and they sat back and relaxed and smiled and says, one guy says, anybody want to take bets on this one? I'm giving 2-1 odds. She swishes this one. Yeah, he never got one taker. Nothing but net on the second one, and they finally let the girl go down. And with 1 second to go, she let a 3-pointer fly. As that ball was going through the basket, she cut it to 1 as the buzzer went off. And we went to state. But see, you have to know things like this. And I'm telling you that story because today is my little girl's. As my mom said, I was her baby the day she died at 48 years old. My daughter's birthday is today, and she's not 48. She's not even in her 40s, but it's her birthday today. So you guys, if you get a chance, wish my daughter a happy birthday. Patriot Little Monkey and Patriot Small Hank. Small Hank started football yesterday, flag football. Oh, it's the same thing at Herscher. You got a few jocks who always get to play every down. By the end of the game, they're so tired they have to have help getting off the field. Herscher's lost so many games, and as you get up into the varsity, because they only play a certain amount of players, no matter how many's on the bench. Coaching will never quit there like that. So there was 3 kids. There was 2 girls, and my grandson started off sitting on a bench. After about 10 minutes, he finally got in. And he's a goofy little boy when it comes to sports, unless it's karate or martial arts, whatever you want to call it. And he's going through everything, and all of a sudden a kid's running. It's flag football. Kid's running, and they went to get his flag, and they missed, but when they went to get his flag, they hit the football, and it popped loose. And I'm telling you, I felt like $1 million when it popped loose. Not because of the kid fumbling, but because my grandson, who I didn't think had the knowledge to do it, picked it up and ran about 10 yards. I seen my grandson, who I'm going to tell you, if he does play football as you get older, will probably be a lineman because he's not very fast. Probably going to be a decent-sized boy. He picked it up and run 10 yards. And I was screaming, I was yelling, and he was rewarded by recovering the fumble and running 10 yards for him and the other 2 little girls. After only being in for about 3 minutes, got taken out of the game. I'm all about taking care of kids. Not get it 1 or 2 that gets everything. That's what I'm about. Patriot little Kira, she's on her way down to Kentucky right now with her mom. They're going to be down there for the week. So hallelujah, Linda. I think you know what I mean. But Marianne, I don't know if you're on or if you're around still. I know Marianne is supposed to be going on vacation today. So I wish you safe travel. Grandma Bo is on. Grandma Bo, congratulations for your procedure and being healthy. And you just keep taking it easy and staying healthy. I think your grandson should come over at least once a day and help take care of you. I'll be over your neck of woods later, see my daughter. So anyway, there's where we're at with the children. I think I got them all. But I want to go into something about the children now, since I'm on this subject. And I want to discuss someone who's, I guess she does what I do. She talks a lot, but she talks about the bets. And Ron said, you got to listen to this, what she's got to say. And I said, oh, yeah. And he said, yeah, you just got to listen to it. He didn't really give me a heads up. So I did. I listened to it today. As I'm listening, I'm noticing this girl is saying this and this and this and this and this about how we're not getting ourselves to the 5 level. As long as we're going to keep thinking about Sleepy and a hat and everything that's going wrong and it's not doing this and when are we going to get the numbers, as long as we're going to keep involving ourselves in that, we're not going to move forward and get where we never to be. We're going to be left in the lower lines. Now, this is the same lady that starts her show off about how when she had her talk with the Galactica people. Here's a lady talking to people in outer space, telling us we're doing things wrong. Outer space. Woo, it's like this Twilight Zone. And I thought, it can't get any worse. But the longer I'm listening and the more that she's saying, I'm noticing something. She has no trouble talking about how the outer space, the Galactica people are the ones that's in charge. See, because in my life, in my world, in the patriotism that I do, and I think you guys do, there's only one in charge, and that's God. But you never hear her mention God. You never hear her mention the children. Oh, I take that back. And I did that on purpose. Because she gave us a challenge. Do we want to move up into the 5? then we have to find, guys, if you haven't listened to Janet and Grandma Bo, and man, Janet's on there a lot. So's Grandma Bo, Margaret. If you haven't listened to this, even if you have, Jeffrey, our challenge is, and if we want to move forward, we got to find the good in the terrible thing with the children that starts with a P. I'm not going to say it. You guys know what I'm talking about. We have to find the good in that. If we do, we will ascend to the number 5. And when she said it, I literally screamed. I go, there's not, what good can there be when men and women, idiots, are doing things like this to children? What good can it do? But I did. I think I'm going to ascend, and I'm going to give you guys the golden ticket to ascend to, because that's what she says. Her galactical people said, if we can find the good, I found it. The only good in it is because the people that she says we don't need to listen to, the people, the Hat, Junior, and all these people that are good are wiping this away. That's the good. They finally decided to get off of their rip rump roast and to get busy doing what they need to do. Now, I know if Diane's on today, and I don't know if she is. Hi, Russ. I don't know if she's on, but if she is, when I came on, I said, welcome to the Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 show. I was in a hurry trying to get the messages out, and I used voice activation. I didn't check it. Meant to say 6. Instead, it came out 6. So Diane was supposed to be on with 2 N's because she thought it was going to be a sex show. So all I can do is here, I'll show you a little bit of my leg. That's as sexy as I can get. But anyway, guys, I don't want to elaborate on this lady. I did feel sorry for her the other day because she had another show and she took questions and answers. And she's bragging that she's been on these beds. She's done. She's good. Blah, blah, blah. Now, one thing she did say that's got me a little excited, because she said you can actually go back more than 30 years. You can go back 40 or 50 if you want. I mean, I'm satisfied with 30, but, you know, if you're in your 80s, you know, maybe 50, 40 or 50 would be better. You know, the whole thing is you can do it again and again, I think 3 times. And then she said they're working on one that's going to be, and I heard this from Jared Rand, that they're going to have one that, you know, if you never want to go leave, you don't leave. You know, you don't leave this earth. And someone looked at me and said, that's stupid. I said, why? What's the difference if you're living heaven on earth or heaven in heaven? Right? That's our goal, is to be living heaven on earth. We want God's earth to become heaven on earth. So what's the difference if you're living here or if you're living there? Especially as something that I believe in, and you guys can think I'm crazy. I really believe that when this all happens, I'm not saying right away, but when this all happens, I believe on occasions we're going to be able to associate with some of the loved ones we've lost. I don't know how far it's going to be able to go back. I'm only hoping at least until 1989, because that's when my dad left. I mean, it would be nice if I could go back a little bit further, because I never met my grandparents, and if I could actually meet them, you know. But we don't know, and she did say you could do this. And I like that. But then when she did the questions and answers, they was asking questions, and she was giving the answers to the best of her ability. And then one guy says, and I shouldn't laugh, but, you know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't. But this one guy asked the question, well, if you've been on them, why are you still so fat? But she didn't answer. I'm not saying she's fat. I'm saying she's a good-sized woman. But now Wolverine says he's met her. And she's tall. She's really not heavy. And I'm thinking, wow, what is she wearing under them shirts? No, I don't care. See, I don't care the weight. I know there's a lot of people looking forward to these beds, so they can make the weight go away. But if it does, it does. I don't believe that there should be any free lunches in anything. You want to turn back the hands of time where, you feel like you're like me. I'm 70. I want to feel like I'm 32 again, or I got married at 29. I want to feel like I was the day I got married, because I think that was the only time in my marriage, that day when I got drunk after the vows, that I was happy in my marriage. No, I was happy the 2 days my kids were born. So many years ago today that my daughter was born. But, it's just one of those things. I give her credit. She comes on, and she did even acknowledge today, yesterday, whenever she did this, that she gets frustrated and she says things too. Well, she does. But see, once you saying things in public is something that once it's said, you can't unsend it. Once you say it, you can't unsay it. You can apologize. But, Wolfie said something the other day, and it has stuck with me. And, I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to him lately, because he just seems like when I found out he's only been doing it for 5 years, but he's acting, it's tearing him up. And I'm thinking, why? Other people have been doing it a lot longer. But what does it matter? Someone said to me the other day, they said, Patriot 5, do you think all we're going to get is $2 or $3 for the dinar? I said, I don't care. So what do you mean you don't care? I said, I didn't pay $2 or $3 for them. I said, so $2 or $3 is going to way be more than I paid for them. And it's going to put a lot of money in mine and my two brothers' pockets. And he said, well, what are you hearing? What are you hearing? I said, you know what? It doesn't matter what I'm hearing. The only thing that matters is when you go into that redemption center, what they agree to you to give you. But you have to go into that redemption center with the attitude, this is me. This is me. I mentioned a little bit ago that Savior was on. When Savior goes in, and me and her, or me and Cindy, me and a lot of the people in this group, we have talked a lot about when we go in, we have to remember a few things. Number one is this is our currency. We are in charge. We go in, and if they say, well, we're going to give you $3.50 for every dinar you have, you look and say, is that the contract rate? I want the contract rate. Because see, people whose eyes are closed, they know nothing about the contract. And someone said to me, but Patriots 5, I don't know nothing about the contract. It doesn't matter if you know it. It's just the high rate. It's the highest rate. It doesn't matter if you can explain to them. Yes, I am, Jeffrey. It doesn't matter if you can explain to it. When you say, I want the contract rate, from what I understand by law, they're obligated to give it to you. Now, if they look at you and say, okay, you get $12.50, me, if they tell me that, I'm saying, thank you. But you can also look at them and say, now, are you willing to sign this paper here stating that is the highest possible rate I can get on these? If they do and someone else gets more, they're in trouble. But guys, if you get $12.50 for each one, if you got $1 million, that's $12,500,000. You didn't pay nowhere near that. Be smart, but don't be greedy. Especially if you, like me, I'm going in there with Ron and was hoping my brother Russ is go, but I don't think I thought I had him convinced to go Saturday, the three of us, but then he backed out again. But, the thing is, we have 12 different kind of currencies. I mean, if I just get a penny for every dollar of currency that we have, we're set for no matter how long we live. A penny. Now, I'm not telling the bank people at the bank or the redemption center, just give me a penny for everything and I'm good. No, I want what is deserving to me. Now, going back to what we was talking about with this young lady, she made the statement, you need to start thinking more about your projects. You need to start getting your ducks in the water on your projects. If you know people that you're working projects, yes, I know exactly what I want to do with the beds, one of the projects, with the children, one of the projects. But the project that I'm taking on that I'm going to be pretty much in charge of is rebuilding my town, getting it up to standards where we don't have to drive 5 or 10 miles to get gas. We don't have to drive 5 or 10 miles to get a loaf of bread. We'll have our own store, our own gas station, our own restaurants. I mean, we used to have a restaurant here in tiny little Buckingham that people would drive from downtown Chicago on the weekends. They would book reservations 3 months in advance to get into this restaurant. That's how nice it was. And then when you walked in it, you thought it was just a restaurant. But the owner, and that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to build another place like that. I have talked to his son and his daughter about that. But see, I want pictures of the people that used to work there. I want people, because I want to call it used to be called Acre Inn. I want to call it Acre Inn 2. Name it after this man because he brought so much. You know, the Buckingham thing, the rebuilding, I can talk to the people. But as I was talking to the mayor the other day and telling him some ideas, he said, Ralph, I can't take this to the board anymore. You keep talking month in and month out about this, but then you never have any money to put up. People are starting to think you're a joke. So I'm backing off. I know what I'm going to do. I've got everything ready. I mean, I've got my paper. How much do you want for this project? And guys, when you're figuring out how much you want for your projects, if you have Zim, you don't want to just go into a project where you want $2 million a year for 10 years. You want $2 billion a year for 100 years. Someone said, well, you're not going to live 100 years. It doesn't matter. See, because once Buckingham is rebuilt like we want it, then I can go to Union Hill. I can go to Essex. I can go to Braidwood. I can go. There's so many little towns. Clifton, where my daughter lives. There's so many things that need done in so many little towns. I mean, and people say, well, people's going to have their own money to do what they need to do. This is true. But if it's 100% true, then why, whenever you hear the hat speak, do you hear him speak about when you get what you're going to get? You have to help people. That's the people they're looking for at the redemption centers, that when you go in there and you might not even want to do one thing, but you want to say, well, I want work this project, this project, this project. You guys, I'm just going to give you the money to get the people. If you're under 70 or 60 years old, you got to work anyway. So why not kind of be in charge of it? Does that mean you got to go out and do anything? No. You go out and hire people to do it, but everything that's done has to come back through you. And then you can pay yourself a salary. Think about it. We can make a big difference in this world. And I know what I'm talking about now may be something you guys don't want to hear about, especially people who don't have foreign currency. But it doesn't matter, because even if you don't have it, you'll get the R&R money if you're a senior citizen. You know, I read an article the other day, and I was looking for it again today. I thought that Margaret Savior had sent it to me, and it was talking about the things to get your ducks in the water. Now, here's something she did send, and it's got a big, the letter between P&R in orange, like burning, and it 1, 2, 3, 4, and it says the letter between P&R crew is revealed. We are ending their final part. Sleepy will go to jail, and we will reveal all the secret deals. Now, also, speaking of Sleepy, You know, that man has a son, and he just loves to hunt. Unfortunately, not game. But I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, this man in the debate, Sleepy against the Hat. Sleepy said not in one debate, but in two. My son has never taken any money from two different countries. One is kind of like a plate you put on a table, your good plates, you know what I mean? Another one is kind of like my brother Russ, if you could add a couple more letters, an IA. No, I'm sorry. Not that. I'm sorry. The country that they're involved in trying to end the things with the children there. Starts with a U. I have a girl there that I write. I've talked to you many times. But them two countries, he's never, and Sleepy said it several times in this debate. That is a bold, fast lie. He's never done anything. But then when he get his laptop, it's all over it. How one year that the Hat was talking about that he had done it, yeah, he claimed $2.4 million that he made. Doesn't even have a job, and he made $2.4 million in two different countries. How? Next year he made 2.2. $4.6 million, but my son's not like that. Now there is a cute little picture out there with Daddy and then the boy in there, and he goes, the boy's going, Daddy, are they gone? Daddy, are they gone? Daddy, are they gone? Can we finally? And Daddy says, shut up, boy, and keep low. Yeah, you got to see it to understand it. So here's something I sent out. It said the Hat is asking everyone to forward this email to a minimum of 20 people and to ask each of those to do the likewise. Now, I sent it out to 25 last night. I don't know how many of you sent it. In 3 days, most people in the United States will have the message. This is an idea that should be passed around regardless of political party. The Hat Rules Congressional Reform Act of 2017. Number 1, no tenure / no pension. A congressman / woman collects a salary while in office and receives no pay when they are out of office, and no more perks go with them. Number 2, Congress, parentheses, past, present, and future, parentheses, participates in Social Security. All funds in the Congressional Retirement Fund moves to the Social Security system immediately. All future funds flow into the Social Security system, and Congress participates with the American people. It may not be used for any other purpose. Number 3, Congress must purchase their own retirement plan, just as all Americans do. Number 4, Congress will no longer vote themselves a pay raise. Congressional pay will rise by a lower of CPI or 3%. Congress loses their current healthcare system and participates in the same healthcare system as American people. Congress must equally abide by all the laws they imposed on the American people, i.e., no more insider trading. Number 7, all contracts with past and present congressmen / women are void. The American people did not make this contract with congressmen / women. Congress made all these contracts by and for themselves. Serving in Congress is an honor and a privilege, not a career. The Founding Fathers envisioned legislators should serve their terms, then go home and go back to work, not get all kinds of freebies. No wonder they're fighting everything he tries. Pass it on. Let's help the hat drain the swamp. Just hold on your finger down and hit forward. Send it, and everyone you know, let's help the hat get the country straightened out. Now, I hope everybody watching this that I sent this to, I hope each and every one of you sent it out to at least 20 or 25. I don't care if you sent it out to 5 or 10. Remember what I tell you, the power of just sending it. When I started this show over 3 years ago, I sent out to 12 people. And at one time, we was over 26,000 viewers. Now, we've had our trials and tribulations. Thank you, Jeffrey. So, midday madness, huh? Thank you, Susie Q. Just catching up a little bit here, guys. I was way behind. Okay, Joe. Bill Woods is saying prayers for Joe. Good luck. Good luck, Joe. And as I mentioned, Grandma Bo is home. She had a procedure done, and from what I was told by my daughter, everything went good. Also, prayers for my son-in-law's other grandmother, who in her 80s, she's starting to have a little bit of problems, and I don't like it when I see my son-in-law upset about things that, you know, he doesn't need to be upset about. I mean, yes, he's fortunate. He has 2 grandmas. I never had a grandma unless I was married. Now, that was one of the good things that came out of my marriage. She had a grandmother who really, really loved me. I think more than she loved her own real grandchildren. Okay, here's something about Social Security. Update: first round of June payments worth $4,873 to go out in 6 days. Now, I've heard that 2 or 3 times, but it says first round. I've heard rumors that when it goes out, which would be tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday of this week, the first round's going out. Then I've heard the second round's going out. I've heard we could get, everyone who's on Social Security could get 3 rounds this month because they're saying they're 2 rounds behind. This is what I heard. Guys, when I tell you something here, I only tell you and repeat it because it's what I heard. I don't know if it's actually true. If it is, great. If it isn't, it's just another thing. Here's something that I'm going to break off to in a situation too. Pat Guider was a manager at Big Lots and worked for them for over 20 years. A shoplifter assaulted an employee at his location last month, so he followed him and informed police about the attack. Big Lots responded by firing him. He told the police and had a small chat with the man, and he lost his job that he had for over 20 years. Now, some people may say, oh, this is just a made-up story. They wanted to put something in. Guys, it's true. When you work in today's world for somebody else, they care less. They don't care anything about you. Because I'm going to go back 8 years ago on April 21st when I was struck by another car. My car went over 300 yards out into a field. I was knocked unconscious. Ron was mildly hurt. They finally got me awake. They took me in the ambulance to the hospital, of where I was not in the greatest of shape, but I knew all along I was going to be okay. I just have this sixth sense. my daughter, my son got together and started talking with people, and they came up for a car for me. This was on a Friday. I would have had to miss my job for the first time in 12 years on Saturday. They had to cover for me for one day on a Saturday. My reward was they fired me. I had a lawsuit. See, not only did I have that, I was paying for insurance through them while I was working. That's the only time the insurance was good. I was working. They never would give me the insurance company. I could have took them for everything, but why? You know, why do I want to take them? I'm not going to go back to work for them. And then afterwards, 6 months afterwards, they begged me. They wrote me letters. They harassed me when I would go someplace to come back to work, They'd make it worth my while. What's worth your while when you're laying in a hospital not knowing if you're going to live or die, and you're told, well, if you can't make work tomorrow, we're firing you. And they did. So I understand what this gentleman went through. But see, that's what we're fighting right now so hard to put aside. Putin, from that one country and starts like Russ, says that Bretton Woods monetary system is dead and gone. And the current one is based on confidence in the United States economy. Boom! Everything is falling into place. This is years in the making. This system is moving towards hard assets. When we talk about things are moving the way they're supposed to do, this is years in the making. Well, I tell you guys a lot that every Tuesday and Thursday night, now I don't know if it'll happen this week because Marianne is supposed to be going on vacation. A vacation I won't say needs as far as to get away just because she needs a vacation, but it includes her son and she's going to get to be with him. So yeah, she needs it. And I wish her nothing but the greatest vacation in the world. I don't know if she's going to play-by-play me tomorrow or she's just going to wait till someone else brings the show out and then listen to it at her convenience, because myself personally, if she's listening or she hears this, I would gladly listen to the play-by-play from her because I enjoy the time that we chat. But use this time to be with your son. You can always find time to listen to Bruce's 10-minute message. That way you don't have to put yourself through all the rest of it, because this is a trooper, guys. She sits and listens to it all. Speedy Bob and Susie Q. So I do want to take a moment and thank, we had 92 people here. I didn't know if we'd have hardly anybody, but I got Judy's reading, and I should have looked it up and read it too. But guys, if you did not read Judy Bidington yesterday, find it and read it. I found it on Truth Warriors last night. So it's there on Telegram. I thought it was one of the best ones she had, and I wanted to have it today, but things just did not fall into place for me today. And then even after I announced I'm going to do the show early, things happened, and this is going to be a week that we're going to be making adjustments, because I already know I got a ball game Wednesday night at 6:30. So, and it could be their last games, and I'm trying to be a good grandpa. So, Judy, State of the Union as of Saturday, the 9th of June, 2024. Rumor Texas is leaving the Union to become its own sovereign state. Martial law and blackout necessary. It's only wise to have at least a month's supply of food, water, cash, and essential items on hand to help yourself and others in case of emergency. A large group of black swans was called a bank, which was interesting because the major black swan economic event was appearing on the horizon because of the bank closure, along with Black Swan events and possible WW3, another pandemic, and who knows what, where, and how or why. Over the weekend, petrodollar was no more. Bank deposits tumbled. 300 million was liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in 1 hour alone. The economy was falling apart, and America was about to wake up to failures of 63 banks, like Australians who could no longer withdraw cash from their bank accounts. June 9, 2024, Q++. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of our shining light. Confirmation, parentheses, to the public, parentheses, of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not openly be accepted by everyone. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and ensure special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted fully. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided. JULIANASSANGE warned us there is no society anymore. What there is transitional security elite that is busy carving up the world using your tax money to combat the elite. We must now petition. We must take it over. We must form to our own networks of strength and mutual value, which can challenge those strength and self-interested values of warmongers in the country, and it offers a form hand an alliance to take money. Saturday, June 8, 2024, from the meeting I've had today, confirmation of what is occurring will be revealed, and it will be openly accepted. A temporary state will be action and special ops carried out. This is all I can reveal now. W.H. Gramps on Telegram. Saturday, June 8th, 2024, false flag alert. Saturday, June 8th, 2024, Mark C. Mr. C say Sleepy most likely will be removed within hours of the announcement of the Big N and Big G. Sunday, 9th, June rumor Texas is leaving Union to become a sovereign state. You know, everything else pretty much I pretty much covered. I know I want to thank everybody for coming out here for this hour today, backing Ron and myself. And I know I made a mistake, and I'm glad everybody could have some fun with it. But, you know, I have a very, very busy week. My grandkids are doing things every day, and then today being my daughter's birthday. I'm going to do the best I can to do shows. They might be in the afternoon again. They might be in the evening. Just because I'm doing the show now, by the time I get back to Ron's house tonight, if he looks at me and says, have you heard the news? Something broke. If it's something worthwhile, I'll come back on tonight. I'll do the same thing tomorrow. If I have to do an afternoon or a late evening, whatever. If there's something break at some point, I will get on and talk to everybody. But before I go, the last thing I want to talk about is just be calm, cool, and collective. Don't worry about what other people are saying. You have been here long enough. You know what's going on. You know we're about ready to go and have to watch movies. You know what they're about. Now, even though we know what they're about, there's still going to be stuff that's going to get to us. Because once you see something, you can't unsee it. I know some people posted some things here a while back about children. As a leader here, when I seen it, there was one thing that was posted about children, a video. I didn't want you guys seeing it. I didn't want to see it. So I did delete it. So if whoever posted it, I will apologize for taking your stuff down, because you have every right to post what you want up there. I would like to say I would appreciate you not posting things like that, because people that I used to run around with, they talked me into watching one of those videos. And that was well over a year ago, and you can't get it out of your head. You can't. And then I go to ball games, and I says, "Where's my granddaughter?" "Oh, she's running around with her friends." And I mean, I'm not worried about what's going on the field. I know my grandsons will take care of what they need to do, but I'm always looking for my granddaughters. And it's just, guys, this is going to change. We're going to go to a new world. We're going to go to everybody loving everybody. And, you know, there going to still be some creepy people? There's always going to be some. But I don't think there's going to be that many. And I don't think they're the ones that are going to be around that long. So I'm just saying, work on your vibrations, and, you know, work on them the way you want to work on them. Because I can't tell you what you need to do. Everybody has to find what they want. Thank you, Janet. I'll tell her you said that. Thank you, Grandma. Boy, I will. But anyway, you know, guys, someone looked at me one day and said something about, "Well, you don't care about kids." Oh, my goodness. You got to be joking. I mean, I'm going to go spend a little bit of time tonight with my daughter, have some cake and ice cream with her, and, you know, I might even give her a spanking. Who knows? It'd be the first time I ever did it. I had great kids. I did. I really did. But, you know, she'll verify my story. When we would go out, my mom was always with us. But one day we went out. My daughter was 16 years old. And we went to Burger King to eat, me and her. This is back before we found out about all this stuff. You know, when you could get in a line to get a Whopper, and if they didn't have it ready for you in 60 seconds, it was free. And it was good. But my mom wasn't with me, and we went there, and there's me and Ron and my daughter and my son. My daughter had to go to the bathroom, 16 years old. I said, "Okay." She said, "You're going to let me go by myself?" I said, "Yeah." And as she got up, I got up. She said, "I thought you was going to let me go by myself." I said, "I am." I opened the door to the women's bathroom, and I said, "Anybody in here?" Two ladies says, I am. I said, "Okay, well, I'm sending my daughter in." And I think they was expecting a young girl. I said, "I'm sending my daughter in, and if she isn't out within 3 minutes, you're not going to like what's going to happen when I come in there." She was out within 3 minutes. She walked out with the two ladies, and the two ladies looked at my daughter and says, "Is this your dad?" And she said, "Yes." And they both give me a hugs and says, "Why doesn't more people care about their kids?" You know, I know I'm overprotective, but when it comes to kids and someone looks at me and says, "You don't do anything for kids," guys, that's my number one project, is the kids. Yes, I want to take care of the seniors. Yes, I want to take care of the military, the veterans. You know, to heck with it. You know, I say with military, they have Veterans Day. That's the day we honor them. But I say, you know, Memorial Day is for all of them. But why can't we get one whole month? We can have Black History Month, and I'm not cutting black down, but if we can have Black History Month, why can't we have one whole month that we celebrate for veterans? Because without veterans, we are nothing. We are absolutely nothing. What's that?
Every day should be Veterans Day.
Ron says every day should be Veterans Day, and he don't even care that he's a veteran. I mean, he drives my brother. Well, he used to drive my brother-in-law nuts because, oh, they're veterans, you know. And see, being a veteran, especially when you're a healthy veteran and you got things, being a veteran is the same thing as being a sports guy. Not the fact that sports people save the world, but I was into sports. I never had to go to the military. They disabolished the draft just the year that I would have been drafted. Not only did they disabolish it so I didn't have to get drafted, but the same year they also said 19-year-olds can start drinking. 2 years later, a month before I turned 21, they said, oh, 19-year-olds can't drink anymore. You got to be 21. So I had to go 1 month from the time I turned 19. But my baseball stories that used to be this big are now this big. And it's the same way with a veteran that I know. He went to Vietnam. It's a tremendous, I love him with all my heart. He's a tremendous guy. But when I said to him, what did you do over in Vietnam? He said, I was kind of like Radar O'Reilly in MASH. I was the guy that told the guys what to do. I was the guy that told my boss, here's your paper, sign it, do this, do this. Because he was good in school and he was good in that kind of work. But now, you talk to him now and you swear. If you talk to him with your eyes closed, you swear he was talking to Audie Murphy. And if you don't know who Audie Murphy is, he's probably the most decorated war hero ever. With that, I love you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you as soon as I can. Let's hope and pray for all the good. God will keep us in touch, and he'll take care of the kids. Goodbye, everybody. D.